Okay, thanks very much for joining us again this week. Welcome to Ramblings. Tonight we have our President, John Seward. Welcome, John.
Thanks, Wayne.
You've been involved with East Burwood for some time now. When did the journey start for you?
2001. Philip, my son, came up and started playing junior footy with the junior club in the under-10s. And I suppose from there it just rolled through. Became involved in the junior club as a sponsor. Watched Philip progress through all the ages up until under 18. Started watching the senior club and just became involved as a sponsor. Never really sat on the board, but got involved on a day-to-day, match day situation. But and then 3.5, 4 years ago, got a tap on the shoulder from a couple of my friends, and the rest is history.
You obviously have great support from Claire and the family. What does this mean to you when you take on a job like being president of this footy club?
Well, to be honest, Wayne, I'm sure you're aware, you couldn't do this job without the support of the family. I suppose when I was tapped on the shoulder and I went home and thought about it and spoke about it with Claire and things like that, and decided that we'd give it a go. But you've got to have the support of your family, and luckily now that the kids are growing up, they're all basically adults, so you're not rushing home to dinner time and things like that, so you can be a bit more flexible. But besides the family too, you've also got to have the support of your staff at work, and I'm very fortunate. I've got a small staff, but they're supportive, so they let me do things during the day as well, which sometimes can be annoying.
What sort of sport did you play as a young fella? Played junior footy down at Bennettswood Football Club down in Burwood Highway. Played there till under 14s and had to give it away due to knee injuries. Took up tennis and then played competition tennis till I was 45, and once again had to give it away because of knee injuries. So it's been the knees that have cut my promising careers down. Right. At times it doesn't take too much to see that you do wear your heart on your sleeve. You're a very passionate East Burwood person. What does it mean to you to be president of this footy club?
A lot. As we're all aware, East Burwood is a very, very proud football club. I think if you take this role on, or you take on any committee role of responsibility, you've got to be totally immersed in it. Maybe sometimes I do show my frustrations a little bit more than I should, but being president, there are a lot of things you're involved in. There's a lot of decisions you have to make. I just think you've got to be passionate, and part of passionate is showing how you feel. And sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad.
All right, you've taken a chance in life. You've left the banking system, I understand, and then you took on the first franchise of Minuteman Press. You're now obviously the president of the footy club. What actually drives you?
I suppose right from when I first started work in the banks, when I started with the National Bank and got involved in the financial markets, and as my career developed, had the opportunity to leave the safety of a big, large Australian bank and went and worked for a number of international banks. I think you've just got to trust yourself. Back your ability, be prepared to have a go, and same thing happened with Minuteman. I was in the banking. I've been doing the money market, the foreign exchange for 20 odd years, and basically had a gutful of it. You just get burnt out. Didn't know what I wanted to do. Stumbled across Minuteman Press. Sales have sort of been my life. Like the story. Been involved 14 years now. It's part of life. You grow, you make mistakes, but you learn from your mistakes. I'll continue to do it.
Big challenges.
Oh yeah.
If you had the power to make one big change in footy in general, what do you think that would be?
That's a good question. I think I'd be tending to go along the
the lines of what the AFL are actually doing, I think we have gone too far as interchange goes. I would tend to try and slow the game down a bit and maybe look at capping the interchange. I do like the one-on-one, the man-to-man contest and things like that of the game. I just think it's become so fast, and we're just missing those contests now.
Yeah. What do you see as some of the biggest issues facing the footy club here at East Burwood in 2013 and beyond?
I think, as we all know, one of the main issues for a football club is finances, finding the money to run the football club. Unfortunately, money is becoming a bigger and bigger issue within local football. As you know, as a club, we don't have a natural cash flow supporting the business.
Makes life difficult.
It does, but that's not to say that we're not out there addressing it. There are things happening, and if the cards fall the right way, you never know how things will go. But we continue to attract sponsorship. It's an ongoing thing. Our sponsorship certainly has come a long way in the last 3 to 4 years. We've got some new sponsors coming on board again this year. We've got existing sponsors staying on board. We're really trying to offer them value for their investment in the football club. It's a commercial partnership. Some will work, some won't work, but you've got to give it a go. And I think the other issue for footy, local footy, really is around most clubs is volunteers. We really do need to get more and more people, more and more members involved. Not so much on game day, but that is vital. But it's also during the week, just helping out. We have the same number of jobs that have to happen around the club that were happening 10 years ago.
Yeah.
But we would, as you know, would have less and less people doing it, so more and more is falling back to those sort of people. So volunteers is another very, very important area.
What challenges do you see for the future in local footy?
Yeah. I think competition from other sports. As we know, especially in the city of Whitehorse, there is growing competition for grounds, use of grounds and things like that. We know soccer is continuing to grow in popularity and things like that. So I just really think for local footy, competition from other sports and money. It gets back to money again. I think that's going to be, over the next 3 to 5 years, I think you'll see some clubs that have been around a long time really struggle.
Now, you touched on it just before in sponsorship. How's that actually looking for 2013? With new sponsors, can you mention any new sponsors that are on the horizon? Or
we've got look, we can, as I just said, sponsorship. We continue to work on our sponsors. Yes, we do have some new sponsors into the club which have been confirmed. We've got a couple of new companies. One's Ride On Entertainment. They're new to the club. They're a local business not far away from here. We also have Nuttawading Toyota coming on board this year. We've been knocking on their door for a number of years, and we've finally got across the line there. So we know Toyota's commitment to AFL football. On top of that, you've got the reliable sponsors. Aussie Home Loans and Blackburn are our jumper sponsor this year. So Richard Hopper has stepped up and made a bigger commitment to the club, but he's been a loyal supporter for over a number of years. And you've got the Sophia's restaurants, Cone, Elevators, Enviroscope, Minuteman Press.
We can't leave that one out.
Toshiba, the guys that have been around for the last few years. And really, as I keep on saying, we try and enter into a partnership and trying to give some value back to these sponsors who do put their money in. And once again, I encourage, as the players know, and they hear me say on Thursday nights and Saturday nights, if you're thinking of doing something, just give those sponsors an opportunity to put their case. And if they've got a deal for you, go with it.
Yeah, by all means. You're also the president of the sporting club.
Yeah.
How does that align with your footy role?
I suppose when it was first spoken about last year, people were a bit concerned, but the good thing about it is, and the way I see it is, the sporting club have been good enough. We coordinate the board meetings on the same nights as the football club's board meeting, so I'm not having extra nights out and stuff like that. But I view that the sporting club is vital to the football club. we need to support the sporting club. We need to support the sporting club, and by having functions here, money going through the place, because at the end of the day, the money comes back to the football club as distribution and things like that. So I think it works together, hand in hand. I've enjoyed my time. It's not taking up a lot of my time, but there's a great committee there, and Rob Thompson, who was president last year, has stayed on as sort of co-president, and he does a lot of the hands-on sort of stuff, so I don't have to worry about that, which is really good. So in my point of view, it's working well.
Right. The relationship between the seniors and the juniors seems to be working very well at the moment, which is something obviously I'm quite proud of, being a past junior president. Ray Kimber and the junior committee are doing a really good job. How have you gone about strengthening our ties with the juniors?
I suppose there's no real magic to it. It's just I suppose myself and Peter White, secretary of the senior club, we get together with Ray Kimber and John Brady, who's John Brady, the secretary of the junior club. Before the start of the season, we sit down, we basically have a meal together, and we discuss things. We discuss the junior club's issues. They ask questions about the senior club. It's pretty much an open forum. There are no secrets. If any issues come up from time to time, which they do, there's no issues. Ray can ring me up, chat. We can send emails, or we meet up here and have a chat. It's basically an open door policy. We really do need the junior club to survive and get stronger. They are the future of the football club, and my philosophy is whatever we can do to make them stronger, we will continue to do.
Well, you couldn't get it said any better than that. Probably one question that is on a lot of people's lips, John, and that is the players. We've lost some players this season. We picked up some players. Whereabouts are we standing with that at the moment?
Well, as everyone knows, we have lost some significant players at the end of last season. The Marcus Carrolls, Stephen Henshaws, Robbie Campbell, Jai Middleton. That's a lot of experience, a lot of good players leaving the club, but it does happen from time to time. We have picked up a number of players, new players to the club. We are still talking to some players. I know we're only a week and a half, 2 weeks out from the start of the season, but there are still players out there we're talking to. So I think overall, our squad, we're going to be good. Good to see Chris Nader's back to the club. Chris has been away for a few years, but he's back this year. So look, as I said, I think we're going to be very competitive, and I'm really impressed with the way Fab's settled in as coach. And I just can't wait till we get the first round on Saturday week.
Okay, going on from there, can you announce the captain, vice captains, or anything like that for season 2013 at this stage?
I wish I could one, but at this stage, that really is the responsibility of the football department. I know Fab and the other coaches have been talking about it, but I think the way things are going, they'll be looking at seeing how our last practice match goes this week against Heidelberg, and then I'm sure an announcement will have to be made next week. But at this stage, Ryan, I wish I could tell you, but I don't even know.
No, that's fine. It's not a problem. Last year you received life membership. It's a great honour, and I can speak highly of that situation. But what does it mean to you to be life member?
A humbling experience, really, to receive the honour from the football club. I'll tell you a little funny story. When Whitey was standing up at the presentation night last year, and I was concentrating about what I had to say to finish the evening off and stuff like that, and Whitey's rambling away. I can only half hear what he was saying, like Whitey does. And I was thinking, what's he talking about? What's going on here? And all of a sudden I tweaked and I said, you're kidding me, aren't you? So, look, it's a great honour, and I really do appreciate it, and it's one of those things that I will certainly cherish for a long time.
In time, when you've given the presidency away and you look back on your time at East Burwood, what would you like your legacy to be?
That we gave it our best shot to get East Burwood back to where it should be, which is basically at the top of the ladder, and singing that song after the last game was played in September. But I would like to think that that when people remember what I've done is that we've lifted our sponsorship profile, we've lifted our profile within the community, we offer people continue to respect the Eastwood Football Club, because we certainly deserve and should be a well-respected club.
For the future of the footy club, what would you like to say to our members and supporters?
Become members, put your money up, and become actively involved. And by that I mean not just by being in, buying a beer and stuff like that, but actually get involved, help out during the day, put your hand up and help spread the workload. It's basically 9 home games of the year. Give us 2 hours on a Saturday. That's all I ask.
Well, I've just got some short ones here for you, right? And with a bit of luck, it won't take too much longer. Right, besides Sorty, did you have a nickname when you were playing sport at all?
No, mate, always been Sorty.
Always been Sorty.
Always been Sorty.
I know what that's like, because always got Putty, so that's fair enough. What's your best memory?
From a sporting point of view, it goes back a long time, I suppose. When I was playing junior footy, I was the youngest player to be ever selected in the Putt High School's senior footy team, and I was under 14, so that was a pretty good personal memory. Outside of sport, Marion Clare.
Yeah, very nice. What's your worst memory?
I would have to think worst memory was when Jimmy Stein ran over the mark in the preliminary final.
Like a true Melbourne man.
And that'll be closely followed by their performance last Saturday. And from a personal thing, 9/11. I think that's when I saw that happening live, and that day I just decided it was the worst thing, and that just changed life.
Yeah, you had to see it to believe it, and I remember that too, and I just couldn't believe it either. It was just tragic, total tragic, so yeah, I certainly understand where you're coming from there.
And just digressing for a tick, I was in New York when I was talking about the Minuteman Press franchise, and I actually stood beneath the World Trade Center. It would have been 2 years before that. And when you realise and you looked up, and that I'll ever remember just how big those buildings were, and then you think with what they did, and that all came collapsing down. It's just tragic.
Yeah, absolutely. What's your favourite holiday destination?
Oh,
when you get time.
When I get time, look, I would say I'm very much. I like staying local. Over the last few years, when I have had a break, I've liked to go up to Shepparton and up to the river and those sort of things. I would tend to think that's my favourite. It's not too far away. The weather's good. Beer's cold.
What would be your dream holiday?
I've always said to Claire that when we retire, I really want to go do a tour of Canada. That's what my aim is once I retire.
Yeah, it'd be very nice. I guess this is probably an unusual question, but especially for you, but what do you do in your spare time?
I like going for walks. Put the earphones in and go for a walk, and just don't answer the phone, or try not to answer the phone for an hour or so. But I do enjoy going for walks. If it's not that, going to see a movie, something like that. But yeah, I really I don't have a lot of spare time.
I'm sure. What's your favourite food?
Or roast leg of lamb.
Where's your best restaurant?
Flower Drum.
Flower Drum?
Yeah.
What's your favourite drink?
Crown Lager.
Yeah. Well, I suppose you've given enough clues onto which AFL team you follow, but we won't spell it out too loud, but Melbourne?
Melbourne.
Okay. What's the best player you've ever seen?
Gary Ablett Sr. Closely followed by Gary Ablett Jr., mind you.
No, we won't mention that.
His performance the other night was breathtaking.
Yeah, no, it was. What's your pet hate?
People being late for meetings.
What's your favourite word?
I really don't have a favourite word. Got favourite 2 words.
Okay, we might go with that.
Go Rams!
If you had the opportunity to invite 3 people over for dinner, who'd you invite?
I'd love to meet President Obama. But I just think, to understand how he copes with everything that's happening around the world. John McEnroe, I greatly admired him as a tennis player. He was the most gifted tennis player I think I ever saw. But I'd love to know what went through his head sometimes, because he was just totally lost it, totally away with the fairies. And the third person, I'd like to have my father in and have one more conversation with that.
Yeah, I can understand where you're coming from with that one, that's for sure. I'm sure you won't get this one wrong, but what's your wedding date?
5th of May.
5th of May, it's coming up, it's not too far away. Just to finish up, I guess, is there a message that you'd like to give our members and supporters?
Oh, look, I think, Wayne, we've covered a fair bit already today, but look, I think it's be proud, be passionate, but also get involved around the club as well. Yeah, sure, we want your money to become members and stuff like that, but also help spread the love. Now, I think that's really what I would ask members this in 2013.
Okay, well, just to finish off, I'd just like to remind all our supporters and members that on the 1st of May, coming up very soon, we have our Sportsman's Night. It's $75 a head, and that includes a 2-course meal. Drinks are at bar prices, and we've got some sensational personalities there for you. Kevin Bartlett will be hosting the night with Brian Martin, Annabelle Smith, Terry Wallace and Mark Allen. Should be a tremendous night. So for your tickets, contact myself up here at the club Thursday night, Saturday, whatever. And Peter May also will have some tickets. And also we have our first home luncheon on the 20th of April also. So that'll be a very interesting luncheon which Sue has organised for us. So by all means, get on the website and check that one out also. John, I'd just like to finish up and say, Minuteman Press has certainly been a long-time sponsor of the footy club, and I'm sure East Burwood Football Club certainly appreciate everything that you've done for the club with Minuteman Press. And I guess if we can just finish off with a true John Sword style.
Go Rams.
Good on you, mate. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Wayne. Thanks, brother. Okay.